money for nothing. Chicks for free.
And it's to the point that they've got these cars to where they literally they don't want them to last more than 100,000 miles. They don't want them to last more than, let's say, 4 years or 5 years, tops. And then they want this thing gone. And all of the systems that are built into the cars are designed that way. This is why everything is run off of a module. You can't have a simple electronic circuit to operate the windows or the gauges or anything like that. The air conditioning, no. It all has to be done through modules, and modules all have to be programmed to each other. It's a level of difficulty that's built into the machine to make it not last past the second owner. They want the first owner to come in and either buy or lease the car. Then they want them to return the car, trade it in. They'll sell it again as a premium used car, and then that's it. Once it leaves the dealer network, the system, they want it gone. If you're in the used car business, I'm telling you, your days are numbered. They're eliminating you. They're making it not possible for these cars to exist past that point. Or to where they can, and we talked about this, the transportation crisis. We did the video a few months ago about this. It got a lot of views. This is it. This is the transportation crisis right out of this guy's mouth. And he doesn't say it in so many words, but when the car is only designed to go 100,000 miles, and all of these systems are set on self-destruct, it means that the working class, the lower class people the ones who really need cheap transportation that can't qualify for a car loan, can't afford a new car, these people are going to be, just out. And it's happening right now. It's all of this current generation. Basically everything built in the last 10, 12 years or thereabouts. They're deliberately building these cars to not go past 100,000 miles or so.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed Uncle Tony there. He's big in the car world. He's got about 500,000 subscribers. He's an entertaining guy to watch. He does a lot of hot rod projects and stuff, if you're into that. I'm not that great mechanically. I can do a few things here and there, but, you don't want to trust me on any major repairs or anything. But another thing he likes to talk about a lot is how the automotive industry makes it impossible for the average Joe to fix his car anymore, and how the computer's hooked up to everything, and these cars really aren't made to last either. It's just the parts are so expensive, they're so complicated to fix, and you really need a degree to fix the car. And I've also noticed a lot of mechanics have been quitting too in the past couple of years. I know a few that are just sick and tired of it. I heard one guy say it's the equivalent of being a doctor, but the human body changes every year. So if you can imagine how difficult that would be to be a mechanic nowadays, you can understand why a lot of them are quitting, or why they just work for a dealership and specialize in one brand or something. So another thing I wanted to go over is, these are some cars that I would recommend. I would buy today if I needed a car. I am serious. I have two. They run fine. I got a title issue with the one because I just recently bought it. It was the most recent one I uploaded. So it's kind of sitting on the side now. It runs perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it, though. But yeah, I'm even considering getting a third car, because I think that these 90s and 80s and 70s cars are going to be running out. And you can rebuild them. You can remake them as much as you want. There's plenty of parts in the junkyard. But to get one that's, half decent, low mileage on it, and as a start, you just want to have something around. I'd sell my Corolla today after I bought another one, but I will always have a Corolla as far as I can see right now, unless something drastic happens in my life, like I move countries or something. But anyway, guys, here's some recommendations for some cars that I believe are, extremely reliable, some of the most reliable cars I've ever driven or seen in my life, and easy to fix, and low cost, low insurance, everything, guys. Uh, 1999 is my wheelhouse. I love late 90s cars. I'll go with early 2000s too, because it's right at the cusp of before technology really took off. And because, who knows, you might get Anne Heche one day. It's a possibility. Maybe the government's coming after you. But yeah, it just seems like they were over the problems in the 80s with all the emissions restrictions. It seems like they worked out all the bugs with that by the late 90s, and everything seemed to be efficient and reliable. And that started kind of into the 2000s, but in the 2000s, I think the car companies also started to realize we can't constantly make cars better, or people won't buy them constantly. They'll just drive their old cars. So I think that's when the car industry really started to turn, was the early 2000s. So yeah, if you need a truck, I would definitely go a 10th generation F-150. That's 97 and 2003. It's still going to cost you, it's going to be one of the most expensive ones on the list, and it's going to cost you the most insurance. But I mean, if you need the haul stuff, I mean, these things can tow pretty much everything, maybe not like a rack of cars for a dealership or something that major, but an everyday man's tower, yeah, it can get the job done. Your contractor or something, plenty of tools in the back you can fit, lumber, whatever you may need. You can you'll probably get a lot of jobs done, with one haul, especially if you have a trailer. All right, here's another car I like. 1999 Honda Civic. Now, I've never owned a Honda Civic, but late 90s, early 2000s Honda Civics. I knew a lot of people that drove them. They barely ever had any problems. I graduated in high school in the late 90s too, so like that. And I grew up I was the poor kid at a rich high school, so a lot of kids had brand new cars and a lot of them had Civics. And 5 years later, after high school, they're still driving the same car. I'm like, damn, because mom and dad wasn't buying them anything anymore, and they were out on their own. So, and the car still ran, so why not? So yeah, they're very reliable, easy to fix. There's about 1 million. They made millions of them. There's so many that were made. So parts are plentiful in junkyards. No problem with that. Subaru Legacy. Now, this is one for a sedan. This is going to suck up more fuel, but there's also the hatchback option if you need a little more room, but you don't need a pickup truck. The four-wheel drive is going to suck up a little bit more gas on the gas mileage too, but I mean, these things are great, and it's safety. Safety is, if you're big on safety, that you get a Subaru. When I had a nice Subaru Legacy, some drunk lady hit me on a St. Patrick's Day or evening. Yeah, she slammed right to my driver's side door, and like the roof kind of crumpled a little bit, and I was fine. I hit the airbag. I was maybe a little stiff for a day or two, and it wasn't that bad. But I had somebody I knew that drove by, and my sister and her boyfriend came to pick me up from the accident. They were already there, but somebody just drove by, and they didn't want to get involved because all the cops and everything were there. And they said, "Yeah, man, I'm glad I saw you standing out on the road because your car did not look good at all." And when I went to the junkyard to clean the car out to get all my stuff from out of the car that I left there, the guy at the junkyard said, "This was your car?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Wow, you're lucky to be alive. If that wasn't a Subaru, I don't think you'd be alive." So if safety is a major concern for you, that is my top pick for safety is a 90s Subaru Legacy. Also great in the snow too. If you're in a winter wonderland, these things laugh at snow. They really do. That 4-wheel drive really kicks snow's ass. All right. An 84 Pontiac Fiero. Now, if you want a sporty look, I like Fieros. I mean, you can go Camaro, Firebird, a Corvette. Corvettes are actually pretty reliable too. Like, you might spend a little bit more money to get a decent one though. You can get a decent Fiero at a cheap price, and they are a lot more reliable than their reputation leads on to be. I don't know where they got their reputation as being so unreliable, but from what I can tell, no, they're fairly reliable. Really good on gas, a 2-seater. These have been used to make kit Lamborghinis as well. So, I mean, they're really hot cars. And the 84 aspect is, if I was going to buy one, it would be 84 or earlier, which I think Fieros maybe only started in 82 or 83. But 1985 or 85, earlier than 85, excuse me guys, yes, earlier than 85, those cars can survive EMP attacks from what I understand. So if you're afraid of EMP attacks, whether it be from the sun or military invasion or whatever, you'll still have a car if it's pre-85. So that's something to keep in mind. I just like Fieros, and you know what? Might as well go for the pre-85 if, that's pretty much your options. I think they stopped making these in 88 or 89, so why not just go to the earlier models and get the EMP-free ones. And my number one pick, the Beast, the reliability monster, excellent on gas, just starts up no matter what, all the time. The 1999 Toyota Corolla, well, 95 to 99, the early 2000s are really reliable as well. So many stories that I've heard secondhand, I've experienced myself. You could write a book. It's a monster. It just does not die. It's insane. Just a quick story. A couple days ago, a guy at my work, his car is in the shop right now. And he brought a Corolla that looks like mine in, and I'm like, what'd you do, dude? You got a car like me, too? You got rid of that new piece of crap? He's like, no, I'm going to get it back. This is my dad's car. I'm just borrowing it. I'm like, wow, what year is it? He's like, I don't know. It's old. I'm like, well, clearly, but do you mind if I check it out? He's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So he hands me the keys. I go and open the door, and I'm like, oh my God, I was thinking of buying it. But even though it was in great condition and everything, I didn't get to hear it start up or anything. I wasn't going to start his car up. The first thing I saw was 332,000 miles on the odometer. And I'm like, yeah, mine's only at 140,000. I have no reason to buy this Corolla. So it's just amazing. There's very few cars on the road that have 332 on the odometer and are running from the outside. Like, you wouldn't think that many are on the odometer. But anyway, guys, that's a little splurge about cars. Just be very careful on the car you get. If you're in a bad car situation right now, I hope the best for you. I hope you can get out of it. Just, try and concentrate and paying that off, or, trading it in, or trading in, that's tough when you have a loan, because they're probably just going to want you to pick up another loan on something else. But if you can trade in and possibly get something old, it might be worth biting the bullet, taking the hit, because you're probably going to take the hit anyway in the future. So, yeah, if you want to drive in the future, you might really want to think about it. Another thing is mechanics. If you want to be a mechanic, well, why don't you start looking at old cars? Because I know there's going to be demand in the near future. These cars are going to go up way in value. People are not going to be able to afford new cars anymore, and they are going to be breaking down constantly after about 100,000, like Tony says, and the used car market is going to be death. So if you want to become a mechanic for 70s, 80s, and 90s cars, this might be a good career option, especially if you're a young buck. All right, guys, sorry about the screen blackouts constantly, but that's my fucking phone. All right, have a good one. Talk to you later.